does it mean to be a military child?
Well, children play a major role in the armed forces community. And while soldiers in the Army Reserve serve at home and around the world, we often forget about the sons and daughters serving alongside them. And in my experience, the Army Reserve is fully dedicated to helping military children become and stay resilient. We love that word as parents, right? Resilient. And we try to help them become and stay resilient because we know even though the soldier enlists, the whole family serves.
What are some of the challenges children who have parents in the military face? And then what are some of the benefits?
Well, we have amazing resources in the Army Reserve, so there's a lot of benefits. And there's some challenges. I had to go away on a deployment, and annually I would have to go away, so they would have to be without mama for a bit. But I also took that as quality, dad time, and it was also a mommy appreciation time because when I came back, everybody was very happy to have mama back at the helm of running the show. So that was that. There's pros and cons to everything, but there's a lot of great resources in the Army Reserve, and there's amazing programs like before and after school programs and summer camps and tutoring, and we took advantage of a lot of these. When my kids were little, the Army offered a 1-week free sleepaway camp. And I got to be honest, we never could have afforded it without the Army paying for it. So my kids have great memories from sleepaway camp thanks to the Army Reserve.
What about the aspect of moving around a lot? You hear that quite often when you meet kids whose parents have served in the military.
Well, I am so glad you asked because what's really cool is I'm in the Army Reserve. I'm not active duty Army. And what that means is I'm a part-time soldier. So I had the benefit of being a mom and a wife first. For most of the year, my kids and the PTO moms at school, they just knew me as Shannon, another mom. And so, like I said, I had some deployments, and every year I would go away for a couple weeks for the Army Reserve. But for the most part, the Army Reserve allowed me to really have the best of both worlds. I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom and a soldier. How cool is that? And we didn't move at all. We lived in the same place for 25 years. And so, honestly, the Army was kind of the easy part because my soldiers listened to me. My kids, not so much. And so, and I know parents out there can relate, but my kids saw that when I did go away and when I came back from my Army time, granted, I was, exhausted. It's a lot. But I was also refreshed because I was a better version of myself. And honestly, I think that's what my kids want for themselves is they want that challenge and they want to become the best versions of themselves. And they know the military will do that. But the Army Reserve is really about having your cake and eating it too, because you can serve, it's only 2 days a month. And so you can serve and you can live anywhere you want to live. And so my kids really had that stability of staying in one spot and having mom and be around. But they also knew it was important for mom to get away a couple of weeks a year. And when I went away, I really was affirmed because I had people saying, hey, you're doing a really good job as a leader. And that's important for parents to have that affirmation because we don't always get it in parenthood.
So it sounds like the Army Reserve is not as typical, of course, as the Army for a military kid.
No, and not only for a kid, but for the adult serving. So the great thing about the Army Reserve is, it's a difference between part-time and full-time. If you go active duty, that's full-time. And sometimes you have to put other things in that other goals you have on hold. Whereas with the Army Reserve, you can do whatever you want to do because you're only obligated to 2 days a month, 1 weekend a month. And so you can go to college full-time, you can work full-time, you can basically keep your goals on track, but have all these other benefits that you're earning really just for working 2 days a month and 2 weeks a year. It's amazing.
So the military kid of an Army person is different than what you're describing, I would guess.
Correct, yes. Because I'm part-time.
What's the final takeaway you want the audience to remember?
Well, I got to tell you, the Army Reserve loves its soldiers and families. And if anybody out there would like more information on the resources available to Army Reserve families or about joining the Army Reserve like I did, you can visit us at usar.army.mil.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a real honor.